Oh, we really need to stop meeting like this, guys. I can't believe it. I'm replacing Owen Wyatt once again, but the JACKOCAR Cup Series is back without its lead voice. However, you do have me, so we shall get on with it. I am once again joined this evening by Matthew Redmore, who was with me in round one for Monaco, who we will come to shortly. But in the meantime, welcome to Albert Park in Melbourne in Australia. In the JACKOCAR world, Australia has always been a regular season race for us, and this will be the 5th time that we've hosted it in our 6 seasons. The previous pole sitters and winners are as follows. So pole sitters first, Mike Khalifa twice. Not held a race in season 4 and then Red Matt. And then then the winners, season 1 was OKK. Khalifa went back to back in 2 and 3. Season 4 we didn't have a race, and season 5 Red Matt won from pole. As it stands in the championship, Jamie Wright and Casper have advanced, although it should be noted that Casper is 3 points behind Jamie, who is actually tied for the regular season championship with Ben Shaw and Christian Hurtado. Jess, who becomes full-time from this week onwards, finds herself in P5. The champion, Jake O'Sullivan, is away once again, and in place of him we see a second outing for Michelle Goris, who impressed us last week in Abu Dhabi with a P6 finish. Tez makes his first start of the season, whilst Risky misses a 3rd race in a row. Replacing him, we see a welcome back return to JACKOCAR for a certain Jamie Bromley, who we haven't seen in the Cup Series since Bahrain Season 4. That was 33 races ago. Jamie is a 2-time pole sitter and 2-time race winner in the tier. Your stage points tonight are at the end of lap 7 and lap 14. There are no jokers. Matthew Redmore, so we are up for a straight-up battle.
What a fantastic introduction, Jacko. That was very nice. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the upside down world of Australia. It's a newly revised Australia. What's your thoughts then on this new Australia track? Then it's a lot more high speed, a lot more flowing. Do you think?
Well, actually, I did a league race round here last night. Shout out TGP and TGP2, the tier. But I hated it. It's absolutely awful. But I don't think it's the track. I think it's the game, personally, because even tracks that I do like, Imola, Silverstone, Spa, etc., I'm poor there as well. So I personally don't like driving the game. But the track itself, and I said this in a tweet actually, JACKOCAR always has a good, fun race here. So I'm hoping that it at least provides us with some entertainment up in the booth, as Tez will begin the first lap of the evening. What about you, though, Matthew? I mean, do you like it?
Personally, I do. I think it's a lot better than the previous time we went round here. Good race that whoever won that last time, wasn't it? That was me, wasn't it? Yes.
It was because, you, yeah.
Deck went a bit too early, so I should bring that back up a deck. But no, it was apart from the old track. Yeah, it's bit less than forgiving if you have a little step of oversteer because of how much quicker you're going. But yeah, I do find these cars are very understeery as well. I know we're quite a bit into the game now. Was it 2 months ago now it came out?
Something like that. I just run a league. I don't know about dates.
But no, I know because I play mainly now on the PC platforms. I tend to struggle with understeer a lot now. They made the rear end a bit more stable, but it's still not great. But some love it, some hate it, and it was like it for last year as well, so just have to quit complaining and just get on with it.
Yeah, it is certainly getting there as we see Tez enter the final corner. By the way, his first start this season, 6 points and 6 race starts for Tez as he goes P1 for now. Next up is Jamie Bromley, Splinter. As I said earlier, we've not seen him for 33 races. He is also 7 regular points away from hitting 300 all-time. He has 2 poles in JACKOCAR in the Cup Series. Championship 5 visit in Season 1. No, sorry, he missed out, didn't he? He did a Championship 5 visit in Season 1 and 2 of the Kia Series, but he actually won the Championship 5 race in the Cup Series back in China Season 1. However, wasn't actually competing for the title. So it's good to see Jamie back. I think this is the livery he's going to be running in the Kia Series, which starts after my 2-week break, which I think is 3 weeks' time. also Kia Series gets underway. Might be certainly within the month, but Jamie onto this main straight. Final corner is very difficult here to get traction out of as he goes P2. Next up is Michel Goris. You missed this last week. Debutant, he's already invalidated by the way, but Debutant had a cracking performance in Abu Dhabi, P6.
And who's this? Is this what's the username of this guy? I do apologise.
Oh, this is MX site down in P18, sorry.
MX site, oh yes. Yeah, I missed it unfortunately, but I'm just looking at the livery because I haven't seen this livery before.
You like it because it's very, what's that team you like? Manor Racing. Very Manor Racing, isn't it?
Oh, aye. Very similar, yeah. Yes, I quite like it to be fair. I think it'd be the sort of livery I would run because it was quite similar to my first livery I planned to use in the Champ 5 last season, so big fan of that livery, I must admit.
There you go. As we move on to this man then, the old saying, it doesn't always go true. What did I write down for this? Class is permanent. Sorry, form is temporary, class is permanent. Sadly for Corey, he has no class, so his form is just absolutely diabolical at the beginning of this season. Also crashed out Championship 5 last season. Can he string something together and get his season underway? Onto the main straight then, Corey Dalton. What's it going to be? Will it be a new pole time? Yes, it will. A 17.7. Next up is Mike Kelterborn, who you may recall... where is he? He is here. Who you may recall was on pole in the inaugural Cup Series race here. Season 1, 2.5 years ago now. That means JACKOCAR is nearly, in terms of creating the league, nearly 3 years old. But the racing is 2.5. Scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah, crikey. I mean, I remember first hearing about it, I think it was in the 3rd season. I was just looking for leagues going around and this league popped up. I was like, I'll give it a quick little go. And I think my debut race was the charity race at Spa as MK Born came over the line with a 19.0. But I'll never forget that charity race at Spa, but we'll leave that till another day.
No one ever will. An absolute limbs in the commentary box with Austin and Owen and myself there. But speaking of that Season 1 race, Connor Byers, who we're watching now, he was on for a top 5 in that race before his TV turned off mid-race, and he actually almost took out Jamie Bromley, who we've already seen this evening, just retired on screen. But Connor now coming up to the line. What can he do? Redemption for Season 1. He goes P2. And another shout, actually, for the Season 1 race is Michael Okeke is actually pitting. Don't know why. Running a Corey-style livery. That is Corey. Oh, I've got a glitch. This is Michael Okeke.
He's currently going through end of Sector 2, is he not?
Yeah, shout back to that Season 1 race in Australia. This man won it. The first ever JACKOCAR race. Seems like a long time ago. Of course, he did also go on to win the inaugural Throwback weekend, which was held in Monza, Season 2. And Michael Okeke is yet to visit the podium since then. But can he regather some form? Season 6, new Michael, new game. What can he do? Matthew Redmore to the line.
It's looking quite neat and tidy so far. No stepping out the rear end, but just get a car to the end of the lap. It's P3 and 18.6, so it's a nice solid lap. Keep it tidy and you get into a good position because it's quite easy to invalidate around here.
It sure is. As we move on to the rookie, Leroy. But by no means a rookie anymore. A couple of wins in the Kia Series. This guy knows how to handle the car as he comes down into the... you know what? You're going to have to get a map up of all the corner numbers because I don't know them. I'm not even going to lie. Leroy through this corner and then that corner as one of the drivers waiting to start a lap gets out the way. Penultimate corner now for Leroy. Brother of Yori missed out on that Kia Series Championship just a few months ago. What can he do? It is P6 for the first of the Hasleder brothers.
I must admit to Leroy, whilst I saw if you go on to the next driver on track, Leroy has surprised me with his pace towards the end of last year. So when he gets his form back, I reckon he'll be one to watch in future.
Absolutely, he's a very good driver. Here is Ben Harrett, who has invalidated. He could have won this race last year had it not been for that late penalty. Of course, it was the man behind him
Thank you.
who went on to win that. You were, by the way, 19th at one point in that race. You started pole, went to 19th, and then you come back to win it.
Yeah, I caused a pile-up at turn 1, I believe, not having loads of floor damage, and then somehow limped the car to the end of the race. I still don't know how I was still in that race, personally.
JACKOCAR truly is amazing. Now, here's a stat for you. Kieran Spears, you'll like this. This is the first time. He sits 11th, okay, in the standings right now. Kieran, let me find it, finds himself outside the top 10 in standings for the first time since Monaco Season 4. And, of course, you may remember that race is when he won the chase. And also, yourself, you advanced to get into the Championship 5 all the way into Austin. But, yeah, Kieran, with it all to do, now a race winner, though, coming into this season. What can he do as he comes up to the line? P2. That gap to Corey gets ever closer. You think it's going to be beaten very soon, don't you, as we look at Pete Knighton, who's invalidated.
Ah, dear.
But Pete, by the way, Season 1, he started his championship winning campaign with a 14th place finish, so I'm sure he can put something together tonight. As we move on to Jordan, whose best result here in Australia is 10th. That come in Season 3.
Oh, and Pete has just crushed it on the main straight. I don't know why I did that, but okay.
Good
so
for
no
him.
As puncture on the start of the next lap.
We'll go on board with Jordan for the rest of the lap and see how committed he is through, I think, what is turns 11 and 12, although that may have changed now with the new layout. He's so cautious through there, and I don't blame him, because that curb, it'll spin you. It always has been a factor on the Codemasters games. This corner now is, I think, even though they've widened it, is a lot harder because of the understeer. And this one used to be a lot easier too. In fact, the whole track used to be a lot easier, but never mind. Can't have it all, can we? Jordan into the final corner then. Will just about keep it facing the right way as he goes up through the gears, heading towards the line. Jordan, it's going to be a 1 minute 19 flat, which is only good enough for P8.
It's a lap though, it's not invalidated, so it could get him somewhere if everyone else invalidates. So,
yep.
Assist delivery then on Uris is interesting. Like I had the HSBC Jaguar sort of.
Yeah, with a glossy metallic finish. Metallic finish, not glossy. Yeah. Good save from Uris.
If you say that about the curbs, then yeah, he almost lost it there as well. He looks like he was a bit cautious on the brakes into there. But as we go into turn 15 here, you can easily mess up the lap so easily around these last two corners because you just want to put the throttle on here and the rear end can just step out suddenly. I've done that many times when practicing last year. I assume it's even worse this year. Yuri a 19-1. I think he'd be slightly disappointed with that, but again, he's been a driver struggling with this year's game as well.
Yeah, I'm actually looking for Jamie Griffiths at the moment. I can't find him. Am I going blind? Oh, he's retired already, so we can't look at Jamie Griffiths' lap.
Yeah, he's crashed in end of Sector 1, where Latifi and Stroll.
Yeah, we'll have to go to Gareth Hall then, and I think you'll do well to find someone who hasn't been impressed by the improvements that made by Gareth. His leap from Kia to Cup Series, then making the playoffs and now knocking on the door of a regular top 5. It's hugely impressive what he's done in such a short space of time. Also, one of our Championship 5 commentators from last year. I don't think we'll be having him this year, the rate he's going at. Can Gareth put a lap together around Albert Park? Of course, P2 on opening day around Monte Carlo.
Ooh. That's not going to help his lap time one bit, but it's still valid as a speed of always helping each other out.
Don't worry, we called it.
But that's been a nice and tidy lap so far, and I do have a map of the track underneath me, so I'm going to pretend like I knew the track into turn number 15. Into turn 16, they probably have actual names, but I don't know them. Sorry, Australian people, if you're watching out there, but it's coming across the line, another 19.26.
So. He doesn't have the outright pace, does he? But he is always up there nowadays. Matthew Redmore, Jess Ball. call it luck or call it skill, she is legitimately sits 5th in the standings, a huge improvement from her between games. She's now a genuine top 10 threat every single race, and her consistency so far rewards her with a provisional playoff position as she rounds the final corner.
Wow.
What a season she is having. With the Kia Series yet to begin, she goes 11th, but she'll take that. She knows she is not the fastest outright, but she always is a threat for that top 10, as we mentioned. Casper, he is already safe and sound through to the round of 10 in the playoffs, which begin sometime late October, I think. But can he put a pole lap together? He was on pole for Monaco.
Ooh. Cutting it fine there in terms of track limits there, but Casper was I'd say he was one of the fastest drivers last season, on par with Ben. But similar to Ben, just didn't have any luck. Every time it comes to JACKOCAR, it just threw a spanner into the works. And as you can see in other leagues, Casper was always up there on top, like even winning championships. But he needs to prove it in JACKOCAR, and he only goes P3.
Casper with a new mentality, a new head on his shoulders as Esti Mats invalidates. So Casper's certainly a real threat for the Championship 5. I was just going to say, Esti here last week, best ever qualifying and best ever results. Can he go one better? In qualifying trim, absolutely not, but he might well win the race as we move then to Ben Shaw. Yet to put it all together this season, but you can just feel it coming, can't you? He's qualified second in both races, the most poles last season. He had 7 of them. And here he comes down into turn 6, I believe this is. You'll let me know. And then into 7, I think this is 8, which is a nice flick to the right. Ben Shaw is looking good so far.
Looking very committed as well. He goes into 11s and 12. How much curves are you willing to take here? It's very nice. This is going to be, I think, I don't want to jinx him. I'm not going to say the words. I'm going to say when he goes around the last corner. That's very committed through there as well. It's a turn 13 to 14 and 15 now. Oh, has he got a very... I'm very surprised he's not invalidated there, personally, Jacko.
He's yet to hook up a qualifying lap this season, he'll tell you that himself, but can he put it on pole here in Australia? It's going to be Ben Shaw to the line. Can he beat Corey? No, he can't. It's going to be P2 at best for him. As we move then to last week's pole sitter from Abu Dhabi on the soft tyres. All of a sudden, Jamie Wright has worked out that the soft tyres are the fastest tyres. Of course, you may remember he always used to qualify on the mediums. But of course, he is now hunting down Arnaud's pole record. Ooh. Goes wide, it keeps it valid. Unbelievable. He held off 6 other drivers over those last 3 laps for the win last week. Did Jamie Wright. What a drive, a clutch victory. Put him on 15 all time. A number that nobody else has been anywhere near. Arnaud and Khalifa are closest on 11 each, and then you don't find anybody else until Kyle with 10 and Casper with 5. But Jamie Wright, can he extend his poles record? Can he extend his wins record? What can he do? Up to the line, it's only P6. We gave him the build-up, but he couldn't deliver. It's Corey on pole in Australia. And Jamie Wright, even though he's through to the next round, I think he would have liked a little bit more. Great qualifying, by the way, from Connor up in P5. OKK also 7th, which is a good one to note.
So I just also noted through that high-speed left-right-hander. Guaranteed Jamie in the chat will be saying something regarding the pad. The car just didn't look like it responded to what he wanted to do. So just giving out a pad-to-pad backup there, that's all it is. But then... a little bit of a wide moment towards the end of the lap, but again, in the race, can Corey keep out the barriers? I know Ben has the pace, but it's JACKOCAR. I can't predict anything, but I do want to predict a winner already, but I don't want to jinx myself.
The last time I predicted a winner, I got it right. So no, because I can't call a winner. It could be somebody from the top 10. It could be somebody from the bottom 10. Who knows, Matthew? But a quick rundown, because we ain't got a lot of time. It's Corey, Iceman, Kieran, Casper, Connor, your top 5. hopefully Connor's TV stays on this season. J. Luke, OKK, Tez, MK Bourne, Leroy make up the top 10, followed by Jordan, Yori, Gareth, Jess, Jamie were the only ones to set times, and SD, Ben Harrett, Pete, Jamie, and MXI, we use Michelle Goris, did not set a lap.
Perfect.
I did quite well there, didn't I?
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
Remember, folks, there is no formation lap. Your stage points are at the end of lap 7 and lap 14. There are no jokers, so everybody is on a mandatory 2-stop, and any pit stops under safety car are non-mandatory, so your pit stops have to be under green flag or VSC conditions only, and the rest of it we'll leave up to the drivers, won't we? I'm going to have a drink whilst we have a little intermission here. Oh, good to see, Matthew, that a new sexy chatbot is in the chat this week. There's a different one to usual. Want to find love? Our AI will help. Thanks to our sponsors at 69 Mega.
Won't work with me.
Good to have them here. And of course, our other partners, Team Speed, Kia Series, Premier Inn, and POR Designs. The JACKOCAR Cup Series is coming to you live from Melbourne, Australia in just a few moments' time whilst the drivers finish their setups. Here we go. Here is the countdown. So that'll be in just over 30 seconds. No formation lap because of the glitches that still exist within the game.
Great game.
But it is what it is. We look forward to a third round. Jamie Wright and Casper are already into the playoffs. 8 races and 8 spots remain in the rest of the regular season. Who will come out on top tonight? Michael OKK is the only previous winner in this field. Can he go on and get his third ever JACKOCAR win? The cars are on the grid, Matthew Redmore. It's 4 and 5 lights. And away we go, down under. Corey and Iceman on the front row. But what can Kieran and Casper do behind them? It looks as if Corey has got the best start of the lot. And Iceman has lost out. There is not a lot going on behind them in turn 1. There's a car on the grass. And there's yellow flags at the back. Other than that, we got a car in the wall. It looks like Pete Knighton has spun round. We're going to quickly go to the back. It is indeed Jess and MK Bourne down there as well. But back to the front. Corey retains the lead. And from Iceman, who has actually got himself back up into P2. Casper and Kieran follow behind. And Connor retains P5. Yori with the first penalty of the night. But no safety cars to note. J. Luke drops to 8th, by the way.
Indeed, as we have Ben going a bit wide. We've got Yuri on a bit of a run, but Gareth, I believe, has picked up some front wing damage as it hit the halo of Pete's car. But a great start from Corey. Ben is probably thankful he got up to P2 so he can focus his chase on chasing down Corey. So it'll be interesting to see now with no jokers when people will decide to pit, because again, the tyre temps being an issue on this game. But as we have look further behind, Leroy and Yuri. We have hitters on lap 1. Iceman and Casper and Connor all come in. Corey leads the first lap of the race. It's a 26.6, but that will be drastically beaten. OKK finds himself in P3 at the end of lap 1. And there are yellow flags further back. But who for? Pete, I believe.
It is indeed Pete.
Is that full course?
That is not a full course caution on my screen just yet.
I believe it's VSC.
Yeah, and Jess finds herself at the very back. So these are all mandatory stops because it's not a safety car. So, as I said at the very beginning, green flag or VSC will count towards your mandatory stops. Jess almost having to queue from the previous driver as Corey breaks away from Kieran. Of course, the two cars between them pitted at the end of lap 1, leaving Kieran with it all to do. But OKK a little bit further back. He come up all the way from 7th, and Pete Knighton has a drive-through. And that's so easily done.
But before that VSC, I was looking at the back between J. Luke and Leroy.
Hold on, we've got Casper and Iceman. Yep. Casper got him around the inside, it looked like, going into the fast left-right chicane. And they have both pitted, don't forget. So that is currently
Oh,
OKK
puncture.
now pits. Puncture for who? Sorry.
For Jess, and front wing damage for Pete as well, so I wonder if they've had it coming together.
Pete has no front wing yet again. And Jess
Has a front right puncture, so I wonder if there's
Yes,
been
she
a coming
does.
together. Oh, this could be the threat. There's also another spinner. Is that Jamie 29? It is. He spun it at the exit of turn 2.
Yeah.
Everyone's spinning today.
known locally as Jamie Numbers to differentiate himself from the likes of J-Luke and Splinter, who do have nicknames. Connor, who has pitted, is up to 8th and comes out in front of Michael OKK, his ART buddy there. Of course, there are no teammates in JACKOCAR. How many times have I said that, Matthew?
Many times, but as Jess has gone a bit into
it is
the gravel.
Jess. Let's follow her progress. Her progress is not very good. We might have to spare her blushes and leave this as Corey laps her. So for Jess now is all about staying in the race and scoring points, as you saw the likes of Jamie Numbers and J-Luke both did that in round 1. And well, if you look at Jamie now, he is leading the championship. Corey pits from the lead. Kieran comes round and will take the lead and lead lap 3.
Does Pete come out in front? He does, so you will not get laps. So if there's a safety cab to come out now, it will be now, as Jess looks like she's just stuck. She can't do anything. I'm surprised the safety car's not been pulled out, to be honest with you.
I am surprised indeed. In fact, it's very, very dangerous. I mean, she's doing her best, but not a lot she can do. In fact, that is Casper right behind her, I think. She will make it back to the pits, but we'll stay on board with her because I just want to see if the glitch still exists in this game where you enter pit lane and then it slows you down to like 10 miles an hour.
I believe it does. I believe that's still in the game.
No, it's not.
Okay, shows what I know.
We know nothing. Matthew Redmore.
Jamie Numbers and Yuri battling on track.
Thank you very much. I can't find them. They're down the bottom here.
And trying to keep an eye on where all the battles are happening. And yeah, it looks like it was a Spectre on the brakes was Yuri, and Jamie Numbers maybe carrying some damage after his spin at turn 1. So that's all I can maybe think of.
Yuri actually went wide there at turn 5, and Jamie Numbers didn't capitalise at all, so it would give us the impression that he's carrying some sort of damage. As we move away, it's now Gareth on the back of Jamie Numbers. Gareth to the outside, looks to the inside, and they throw it left, and then they throw it right. Gareth playing it sensible for now. He will have DRS yellow flags on the main straight. It looks like it's going to be Pete Knighton once again, but we stay on board with Gareth, who fills the mirrors with Jamie Griffiths. Okay, Kate gets past Ben Spurs. I missed it. I do apologise. Yeah, Jamie is struggling a lot here. I think he might either pit or be a sitting duck. Take your pick. And he's going to spin, half spin, but keep it on the road. Invites Gareth through. But I tell you what, Jamie still has a good bit of rear traction to get out of that final turn. Gareth doesn't have an answer for the moment. Yellow flags pop up once again. All localised yellows these are.
Who's that? Is that Pete?
Yes, it is.
It's a dangerous place to be stuck on the
You
track.
can't park there, sir. That's not good. Don't reverse in front of everyone, Pete. Oh!
Oh no, not in front of your own team. Oh no, Pete.
Well, that's going to be a safety car, isn't it? Caught on camera, red-handed, Pete Knighton.
Right. Kieran was committed into the pit lane. That was count.
Okay. No questions asked then. So everyone behind him who pits will be under investigation. Not under investigation. They'll be non-mandatory stops. So keep a note of these, please. You don't have to write Kieran down. And when it all settles down, we'll show the stops for everybody, because every stop so far has been legitimate. And there they are for you. So just leaves us with Tez and Jamie Wright and Ben Harrett yet to pit. Estimats with a non-mandatory. But crucially, one stop already complete, so this won't hurt.
As Gareth comes in, and We're panning on to Kieran. His car was committed into the pit lane where before the safety car popped out, so it's like he knew the safety car was coming out.
Pete, by the way, in chat confirming that the game was actually disqualifying him for parking there. So the game has taken control of Pete's car and crashed Jamie Griffiths. So Jamie Griffiths just wrong place, wrong time. It did look like it was under control of Pete, but we know what these games are like.
We can actually beat it on the curb now. I wonder if that's what's happened.
Yeah, it happened last week to Yori, and he needed teammate Gareth to come along and give him a little nudge to set him on his way again. So here is your net race leader we're looking at then. Kieran Spears, two-time race winner. Mexico last season, followed by Japan. 2 clutch playoff wins that saw him through to the Championship 5. His second visit to one of those. And Corey, the original pole sitter, is right behind him in P4. Now those two have a little bit of history, don't they? Silverstone last season, Austria last season. So hopefully we've got a bit of a spicy race in store for the remainder of it. We are on lap 7. End of this lap is a stage point. It might be Tez taking that, providing he doesn't pit. Iceman is third net. And what has happened to Casper? He's taken an extra stop, Matthew. One that we didn't see.
Has he taken an extra stop? Whereabouts is he on track? Is he in the pit lane now?
He is P11. He's done 2 stops. So if you just have a little search when he did that second stop.
I'm also going to just go back on the stream and check the map as well to double check if Kieran's stop is legitimate, because I don't want to fate. So by the looks of things, he's on to the mediums on lap 3. Is he pitted for another set of mediums since?
Who, Casper?
Yeah.
If he pitted, he would have pitted lap 1 and lap 3 then.
Lap 1, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
yes,
Casper,
it looks like that, yeah.
Casper has completed his mandatory stops. He's good to the end.
Crafty.
Very. Especially now that there's a safety car. There's your stops once again. ST Mats, Gareth. With non-mandatories, MK Bourne has made 3 stops already. Of course, part of that pile-up on turn 1. Jess, who's having a nightmare race, finds herself lapped by everybody and at the back. MK Bourne, the only one yet to catch up.
Oh yeah, because Casper pitted under when there was that VSC, so he would have lost less time as well.
Yeah, and that's why he's only P11. That's actually a potential race-winning move from Casper. I wonder what he can do with it. I'm just going to have a quick read of chat. Jamie Griffiths will not be pressing charges against Pete. Jamie fully understanding that the game disqualified him. What a great shame that is. But welcome and hello to all 15 viewers that we have right now. All you've missed is the disqualified car of Pete taking out Jamie Griffiths. That was caused by a Pete spin at turn 5. It's so easy to do on this game. And Jamie Griffiths' car was just ever so unlucky. It leaves us with Tez and Jamie Wright as the race leaders, but both yet to pit. Kieran, the net race leader, on track. And Casper, the only man to have completed both mandatory stops. Ben Harrett finds himself in the dizzying heights of P9. He was on for a win last season here, but finds himself needing to pit twice and not looking good with 21 laps to go. But anything can happen in JACKOCAR.
Okay. I was just reviewing back the footage on the trusty old stream. It is very nip and tuck, it's very close. I'm now looking at it now, 50-50 as the safety car's in this lap, but at the moment when I panned in, it looked like he was in the pit lane, but I would like to just double check with Kieran if that is possible. Jack.
If it's 50-50, I'd be inclined to say it is mandatory. You can't be half committed to something when you're going in that direction anyway, if that makes sense. So
he's committed. Okay, let's go.
So in my eyes, Kieran's pit stop is legal. Of course, it if it is needed under review, we will review it later on. But for the meantime, attention turns to race leader Tez making his first start this season. I mentioned in qualifying, he's only scored 6 points from 6 races, all 6 of those points coming in one race. The overhead gantry of F122 is the launching point, and he can go whenever he wants between there and the timing line. Tez will hold the field and go now, and he catches Jamie Wright off guard. That's a great restart from Tez, as he will lead into turn 1. Kieran looks to fill the mirrors of Jamie Wright, but doesn't quite get it done. Up the inside, and there's a spinner. It's Corey in the wall.
Oh, Corey.
No damage. There's another one in the wall as well. It looks to be Tez. What a shame for him. He had a cracking restart. Cold tyres is what's caused that one. And Corey has some, I assume, side pod damage because he can't control that car at the moment. J-Luke leads. And Corey, look at the mess that he's in here in the midfield. What can he do with Yori in front and Esty Mats behind? A little tap on the back of Yori to let him know he's there. But Yori also can't go anywhere himself. Runs a little bit wide, if anything. Corey up the inside and into 11th place. He is trying to make moves with damage on his car. OKK ahead of Iceman. We stay on board with Yori as Corey makes another move around the outside of Jordan. That was fantastic. Should we ride on board with him as he now rejoins the top 10? Looks at the back of Michel Goris and down the inside. Not this time. Michel goes wide and Corey is P9. What a recovery lap this is. Yellow flags fly once again. MX Site has a penalty for causing a collision. Not always true, but Corey has made the best of a bad situation there. Early spin at the end of turn 2. But recovers to 9th at the end of that lap. How did OKK get past Iceman? It didn't really matter because Iceman is now back in front. But look who is behind OKK. It's Casper. The 2 stopping Casper. Playoff bound Casper. What a restart he had. Yellow flags.
VSC, I believe. There's no yellow indicators, so the cars currently in are all legitimate stops. But I was looking, whilst you were looking further down the grid, proper side-by-side action between Jamie and Kieran. So they're quite close on track. Again, Jamie needs to pit, so he'll be out of the way soon. And Kieran will know this, but I wonder if everyone knows about Casper. So he has blown the binder again, running low on fuel. Does he expect any wet weather at all?
That's just a trait of Casper, that is, running low on fuel. It's
okay.
The fact that Casper is P6 now, I don't think a lot of the drivers will be aware that he's already stopped twice. You know, if he was further down, they might think, oh, he must have pitted twice. But he's still in that hunt for the race win. You would think on the same strategy. VSC is in, and Jamie pits. So Kieran will resume the lead and lead lap 10. By the way, it was Tez that picked up the playoff point at the end of lap 7 for winning the stage. And here comes Kieran, then into turn 1 he goes. And picks up a penalty.
Tyres. But look, I'm trying to keep heating to the tyres, but again, like I said, the rear end, just catching people out, even like drivers who were considered quite quick and quite good at this game, even they're still struggling as well, so it's crazy to see, really.
You know it's a tough game when the big names are starting to struggle. And then old names like OKK having a good race. Maybe he's learned something about this game. Maybe it just suits him that bit more, as he is staying with Iceman, who we've said already is the people's favourite to win this title. MK Bourne, 3-second penalty. We ride on board with Michael OKK, race winner here. 85 races ago. 2.5 years have passed. Can he go back to the top step?
Splinter?
What's happening further back? Matthew Redmore.
About it. Splinter and Gareth having a bit of a ding-dong battle right now. Looks like there's going to be a move here.
Yep, DRS4 Jamie as well.
Is he? No, he's not committed. He stays behind Gareth.
In fairness to Jamie Bromley, he has been out of league racing for a little while now. So I think this is just about getting back up to speed and learning your racecraft. He is a very good driver. Corey dropping down the order. That's why he's facing New Zealand.
and Jamie is into the pits to complete his second stop, his mandatory stops. So it's perfect time for Jamie.
Yeah, Corey's still struggling and spinning the rears in 6th gear, by the way.
He's frustrated, isn't
And
he?
no front wing. That I didn't quite pick up on before. But yeah, good stuff from Jamie right there, getting that second stop out the way under VSC. So damage limitation 13th.
Oh, that's a quick one.
Yep. And hard to the end. Of course, that's what Deck did here last season. As Tez goes round the outside of Jamie, that's a good move, but don't forget cold tyres are a factor. Tez's tyres will be up to temperature as he rolls into turn 3. Turn 4, by the way, this is the problem area. Drivers have been told if they run wide there and pick up that immediate 3-second penalty, it will not be removed. Nobody. Corey's just been overtaken by, I assume, Jess unlapping herself.
Yes. Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, the closest battles on track do appear to be those at the top. Yeah, Kieran and... Sorry, Kieran's checked out. It's Connor and Iceman and OKK and Casper as Leroy pits.
So look at Yuri there, down with 9 seconds worth of penalties.
Wow, already.
Crikey, but OKK, like you're saying, he's keeping up. Yes, okay, Ben's on the hard tyres, but it's great to see OKK back up here.
It really is, isn't it? It's a fan favourite. I think he won most popular driver again at the end of season 5, did OKK. And a driver that nobody dislikes. I don't think he dislikes anybody either saying that. Oh, I know that, actually, no, that's a lie. I know one person he doesn't like. But other than that, whose name shall not be mentioned, OKK, very popular. As he pulls Casper with him. I wonder if Connor will play a part in OKK and Casper both getting through on Iceman. That'll be the team game. Of course, no official teams in JACKOCAR. Your friends are where you find them. Connor runs a little bit deep into that corner. And OKK struggling to get the traction down, but stays with Ben. We've got a train of 4 here as Kieran extends his lead to nearly 5 seconds. Do they know that Casper's sitting there with a race-winning strategy underneath him at the moment? Probably not, actually. And Estimats, Christian Hataro in the distance. Lives just outside of Tallinn in Estonia, looking to bring home a first Estonian victory in JACKOCAR.
Splinter there's got a bit of a run there out of turn 2. He's going to make a move down the inside on Gareth. Is Gareth going to try and stick it around the outside? No, he's not. Splinter. Nice clean move there down the inside up into P9.
Yeah, these two have battled before for the Kia Series Season 1 title. So a bit of respect. They do trust each other. Two very good drivers. And Jamie with the momentum at the moment as he continues on his way. Gareth remains in the top 10 though. Leroy, of course, has made that second stop, as has Gareth, but it was non-mandatory. Pete once again confirming rear wing damage in the chat. Oh, where am I looking?
Sorry, Connor, getting a bit squirmy. I think I'm getting a bit over dramatic there as my usual excitement comes out as MK Bond and Yuri going side by side. MK Bond remains in P7, but look now, Ben is in the pits. Damn, I thought he was getting close on the Delta. This is Ben now in the pits to complete his final stop of the day, as well as Estimats. So it'll be interesting to see where they come out. But look at the gaps now between Casper and now OKK. So it's be interesting to see whereabouts they'll finish in the race. That's if another safety car does not come out.
Yeah. By the way, Kieran did pick up the Stage 2 victory. So he'll get a playoff point for that. Kieran and Tez with those today. And of course, a lot more playoff points to be handed out. We have the most laps led. We have the second place, third place, a 5 for the win. And the fastest lap pole was taken by a certain Corey Dalton, who finds himself now down in P17. Remember, he bottled a Joker race here in Season 3, and that's how Khalifa went on to win from pole position. Corey, by the way, sets fastest lap. We're still watching these top three. When I say top three,
Looking at Jamie
three of the
and
top
Leroy,
four.
So,
Jamie and Leroy will go to it.
yeah. Jamie almost went into the back of Leroy. I wonder if Leroy's like carrying damage or is he just trying to hold up Jamie and help with the team game. But I think Leroy's fighting it all, and that's Jamie now up into P11 as he goes to fight his way back up the grid.
Yep.
Jacko, what did I
Thank
miss
you
up
very
front?
much. OKK has pitted. That's what you've missed so far.
Oh.
The only fear I have for Casper is he's on the mediums. Now, can the mediums go? If he pitted lap 3, that would be 26 laps. I personally don't think they'll be in very good condition. I mean, they'll probably make it, but he'll be squirming about. So a late safety car will ruin this for Casper. As you can see, he's already running wide.
I wonder if he was hoping to maybe go into the lead, stick out and get some playoff points, but maybe that's not working for him, because I'd be a bit surprised if the mediums can stretch out, I must admit, as he gains and gains on Connor, but just not enough road.
Connor's going to let him go anyway, it doesn't matter.
There is enough road. Teammates, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor was actually holding his own, to be fair, so he's let Casper go in favour of helping the team towards a win. Meanwhile, Kieran has extended his lead to 7.8 seconds. Connor pits, by the way, and that could be well timed because there's yellow flags for Corey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Corey again. Must have had a half spin by the looks of it.
I think so. He's gathered it up and is on his way again through this new section of track.
Connor pits.
MK Bourne up to third.
Having a solid race, isn't he? He's done 3 stops as well, of which one, I believe, was non-mandatory. So yeah, he's done all his pit stop as well. He's actually in P3 currently at the moment, so he's kept that quiet.
Yeah, the ART drivers all having absolute brilliant races today. There's lots of yellow flags.
Safety car.
All of the time. Is that a safety car?
Yes.
So
indicator on the track.
Leroy and Corey's pit stops are legal. Everybody
Corey's
from here.
Is not.
Is it not?
No, it's not. He wasn't in the pits by the time the safety car was out. Okay, now he's just popped out on track. He's going reverse on the track, apparently. No. What?
What?
Are you seeing this?
Where am I looking?
He just randomly popped out a complete different bit of the track and all of a sudden teleported back to the pit lane. That was okay. Never mind.
Who's he? Sorry.
Corey. Sorry.
Oh no, we was on board
apologies.
with Corey. He didn't go anywhere. He was making his pit stop.
Ah, nice, trusty.
Kieran and Casper pit, by the way.
Kieran and Casper pit. Interesting. I mean, this has probably saved Casper's race as well, to be fair. He's now on the fresh set of soft tyres. And
Yori pits. Just need to go to stops here. So Kieran still needs to make a mandatory pit stop.
this has really come out at a bad time for him then.
Really bad. Tez pits. And J-Luke pits.
They're all clean now.
I'm just making sure we don't miss any of these, because guess who has to watch the race back afterwards and listen to their own voice? It is me.
You love your voice, really.
Ben Spurs pits. Ben Spurs pits. And MXI, that's Michel Goris, he pits from 15th. What about those guys? Leroy continues, he doesn't. What will Jess do? She appears to have stayed out already, so that should be it for pitters. As MK Bourne leads this race on merit. The man who, I don't know if it was last season or season before, just knew he didn't have the pace, so just whenever he had the opportunity to stay out and lead a few laps, he did. He did what the kids call as stat padding. Something that you did as well, Matthew, with your stage wins.
Of course.
MK Bourne finds himself with 70 laps led coming into this race. That's all time. And just because we mentioned it, Matthew Redmore has 15 stage wins, which sees you third all time behind Arnold and Kyle Smith.
Oh, I'm not P2 for a change.
You're not P2, no.
Oh, no. Two seasons in a row, finished P2 in the standings. P1 was just not meant to be, but I'm just keeping it warm for everyone else.
Third time lucky, season 7, what?
Tempt me, Jacko, don't tempt me.
It doesn't take much. JACKOCAR is one of the few legal drugs that are about and available to most people. If you want to. You don't have to race.
Can send you loopy the odd time, but 9 times out of 10 it's all nice and relaxed.
Certainly has its moments, this league, doesn't it?
Always has its controversial moments, but that's JACKOCAR, that's what we love to see. Everyone rattled, it shows it on the track.
Sorry, I just got to go back to stops again. Gareth still needs to pit.
He does.
Iceman still needs to pit.
Iceman, I believe his stops are legitimate. I've not seen him do a non-mandatory, so he's
that's fine.
in that position.
So he is good to the end. Connor is good to the end. So is Christian. Yuri, I'm not sure about.
Yuri just stops. Yuri is currently on 2 stops. No, he has 1 more to do.
Okay. Jamie Bromley, Splinter.
Splinter, he's fine on my end from what I got it down.
Okay, so Jamie Bromley, by the way, a 10th place finish. We'll see him hit 300 points. And then we got Jordan and Tez. I don't know about them. I know J. Luke is fine. Leroy, I believe, is good to the end. And OKK down in P15. Did he get?
Stops are legitimate.
His stops are legitimate, so he should be on for at least the top 10. But he seems to have fallen away from that lead pack because teammate Connor, I think, might have been blessed by the safety car, which is why he's still so far up the grid. But it is in late, so we have to focus on MK Bourne. That was Corey catching up at the very end. MK Bourne, you can go from the first overhead gantry and anywhere in between up to the next. Where will he go? What will he do? He keeps warmth in the tyres and fires them up, and on the way he goes. Wheel spinning in 6th gear, but will hold the lead. Kieran, Casper, Iceman all follow through, and Gareth in 5th. It gets a little bit choppy behind as Connor and Yuri look to make moves. I think it's going to be Yuri to the inside and Connor going to go and try and follow him up the inside of Gareth, and they make contact, and there's 3-4 cars involved. Connor caused that one by braking a little bit too late on the restart and now spins for good measure in the background. Gareth loses a couple places. MK Bourne's dropped to 3rd. Oh, well, there's so much going on here. Yuri 5th. Tez up the inside. And what a move that is from the Dutchman on his fellow countryman. Tez through on Yuri as he begins now to hunt down Iceman. MK Bourne 5th, let his teammate Casper go, who's now looking for the lead of the race on Kieran. He won't do it just yet. Turns it in. Brand new, fresh, soft tyres for Casper. Can they go to the end? They'll certainly be a damn sight better looking than his mediums that he had on if they were to go all the way to the end. Kieran has to make another stop. So will he make life hard for the Finn? Or will it be easy enough for Casper to slide through? MK Bourne, Iceman, Tez and Yuri all in a train here. Iceman, what will he do? He will stay behind MK Bourne as they all clout that curb.
Oh, he's got to run. He's not the easiest driver to get by as MK Bourne. I've known that when racing him on track. He's a very aggressive defender. Will Ben manage to go around the outside? MK Bourne gives him the squeeze, and again MK Bourne showing who's boss, saying I'm not going to let you go around the outside. I'm going to keep my P3, thank you.
And why should he? Because this is for a podium finish. Tez is looking very hungry behind them as Iceman's pushing MK Bourne through Sector 2 now. Can he make a move? We go on board with Tez and look at his angle. Iceman looks left, looks right. MK Bourne will hold position, goes to the extreme inside. Iceman to the outside. Will he go brave? No, he won't. MK Bourne goes deep to hold the position, but it's going to give Ben another run here. down into this new style corner. When he goes to the outside again, he's forced to go to the outside. And MK-Born runs in wide. Where's Tez in all of this? He's spun. And Yuri takes fifth. Jordan follows him through and goes into fifth himself. Ben, meanwhile, retains P4, but he's losing time all the time to Casper. And I don't think Casper will have any complaints as that, as Kieran continues to lead this race. Look at it further back. Oh, Tez is recovered.
The battle for P5 is immense.
What about P7 though? Because ST Mats and Michel Goris are going at it, and a few of them all run wide. Tez was one of them. It's all kicked off here all of a sudden. Jordan leads this train for P5. He had a poor first week.
Oh, you're opportunistic on your countrymen.
Yuri did smell an opportunity, didn't he? We see Ben Spurs behind get past Michel Goris. Before he goes, can he take a podium like he tried to last season? Oh, Tez in the wall, and that's out.
That could be another safety car.
That has to be a safety car, and it is a safety car.
Yellow.
Kieran's race is ruined. Well, I think what happened with Tez there, he got on the exit of turn 6 or 7 and it just spat him back out across the other side of the track. It's so easily done. Pasta Maldonado style from, I think, 2013 when he did that. And what a shame for Tez. It'll be a 6th race start without a point scored.
What this does then is allow everyone to recharge the batteries once again and go again at the restart. But this is, well, what can you say for Kieran? It's pretty much race over for him, unfortunately, as we now have pitters in, and I shall make note of who I am a bit.
Gareth, Connor and J-Luke, make a note of them. And also OKK, who's flying into the pit lane, locks the tyres up and gets it slowed down just in time. What a couple of laps that was, folks?
Yeah, I was trying to keep up with it.
So was I.
My voice break didn't come into effect. That was close.
We had a couple of overtakes, a couple of spins, a crash, and some team tactics, which saw MK-Born let Casper through into P2 and then hold Iceman up. But we have another restart to go through. I'm sure this will be the last one. And remember what happened last season when we had a late race restart? It was all kicked off. Matthew Redmore coming from P6 on fresh tyres to win the race. Declan Cornley going too early in the restart zone. Had he done that this season, he'd have got away with it. Ben Harrett surrounding and harassing him for the lead, but with a penalty. Iceman in the mix. I think MK-Born was in the mix as well that day. But another JACKOCAR Australia restart with a couple laps to go is what we have in store. Kieran, your current race leader, needs to pit.
Jamie's on intermediates.
Oh, hang on.
Are we anticipating rain?
You're saying it right. We'll go down to the driver in 14th. He is legitimately on intermediates, but not much longer.
I hope so. But it is getting overcast there, I must admit.
So another non-mandatory to note down there, Matthew.
Damn it, Jamie. Is he trying to get the trophy for the most amount of pit stops? Oh, he's damaged his front wing. No, he's gone back on the intermediates. Is he predicting rain any minute now? Because the amount of safety cars, could they've just brought rain into the equation?
It's a bold call. Of course, when you're already in the playoffs, it really doesn't matter. He's never won the regular season as Jamie Wright, and probably because of decisions like this. But he is a two-time champion. And you're not a two-time champion for no reason. But it is excessively overcast is the words that I would describe it. The Melbourne city skyline in the background, almost invisible to us. J-Luke comes out 16th, by the way, just to a lap down. And what a shame for Kieran. He will, I believe, get the playoff point for most laps led. However, he will finish somewhere towards the back. Don't cut that corner, that'll be an unnecessary penalty. Because of the JACKOCAR rules, he cannot complete his mandatory pit stops under a safety car.
Would be out for one more lap though. With I wonder if Jamie's being crafty with this.
I think. Hold on, let's go to him. It's something that I've certainly done before, and he's most certainly holding back. Is that rain on my screen? I don't know. I think it is.
Jamie, you crafty man.
Don't spin it though, Jamie.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Don't do that. Is he going to pit again?
We're going to get one more lap here.
Oh, yep, rain.
And it is now raining. But only, but only lightly.
Okay. Gareth and who's that into the pits now? Gareth and Connor.
Yeah.
Oh,
why not?
Australia never fails.
Why not risk it all? It's a clever move, if anything. Jess stays out on softs. J-Luke returns to P14 where he was. And we now have 3 drivers on the intermediate tyres with 26, 27, 28, 29. 4 laps to go. And this 5th lap as well, technically under safety car, will be a slow one. So I think Jamie Wright might be sniffing a 2nd win in a row. Every win that he gets in the league puts him 1 further away from everybody else. For when that day comes when he has to retire, Jamie Wright will have X amount of wins. And I imagine it's going to be an unbeatable, unassailable amount with clever manoeuvres like this. But can he keep it on the road whilst it's still dry? What will the leaders do? Is it wet enough? Will Casper, MK Bourne, Iceman, Jordan all risk it and stay out to the end on their dry tyres? Kieran, by the way, has to pit again or face disqualification. He cannot. He has to do a racing lap. And I fear you could see him bin it. Like many others behind him. Look at the mix of tyres. 7 drivers on softs, 5 on mediums, 2 on hards, 3 on intermediates. And we are 3 corners away from getting this race underway for the final time this evening. It's going to be a 4-lap shootout, but it might be a sprint with a pit stop or 50 involved. 11 people watching this one. Do strap in, because I think you're going to need it. The car's moving about so easily in these conditions when they're trying to get heat in. I don't think it's heat they need. I think it's intermediate tyres that they need. Kieran into the restart zone he goes. They're queuing up behind him and away he goes. Let's keep our eyes on Jamie. Look at Jamie Wright flying through the field. He's made an incredible decision. He's almost going to be in the top 10 by turn 1, but not quite. He just needs to play it sensible. OKK cuts the corner back to the leaders. Iceman around the outside of MK Bourne. It's always going to be the outside of MK Bourne, because that's how he makes you race. But can Iceman send it down turn 4? Yes, he can. And up into 3rd he goes.
That's the move Ben needs to do now. Can he chase down Casper with 3 laps to go? Kieran is out of the question, I'm sorry to say. But it's now the battle for the lead now between Casper and Ben. But can he keep temperatures in those harder compounds of tyres? We shall wait and see. As there's a yellow flag.
It's Leroy who's spun around. And Jess might hit him here. But she gets away with it. And laps herself again. Kieran, how hard does he want to make Casper's life? Does he want Ben to win a race? And also, these drivers that are on the dry tyres, will they even get to the end? That's the thing.
Because it just doesn't look like it's wet enough, does it?
It doesn't, but Jamie's restart was incredible, and Connor and Gareth followed him through. Kieran stays out. I think he's made an error there. He is facing disqualification if he doesn't pit. Yuri is flying up the grid all of a sudden because there's carnage behind. And Yuri pits. It's going to be for Inters. And Gareth pits as well. I think it's raining heavier now. Corey, there's drivers all over the place. I can't quite keep up with it. I do apologise as they file into turn 1. Jamie is P9. but Connor is ahead of him now.
So much better watching it than actually being on the track right now. If I was on the track right now, I would be
sweating.
Yeah.
Sweating or dripping with rain, not quite sure. Jordan P7, ST Mats is 6th, right behind Ben Harrett, who seems to love Australia. He was on the podium here last season, but can he hold off Christian Hataro, who was on the podium last week? Up the inside he goes, not quite, maybe around this new stretch of track. ST Mats to the outside of Ben Harrett. It's Estonia versus England, and Estonia come out on top on the medium tyre. Jordan follows his countryman behind for now. Back to the leaders. MK Bourne has dropped away in a race of his own on the hard tyres. He's going to stay out. Yellow flags at the back of the grid.
Leroy again.
It's Leroy again. That same corner. Kieran stays out. He has to pit. He has to pit. And he does so. This will hand it to Casper. What tyres?
Intermediates or another set of soft tyres, because Jamie just doesn't seem to be working for him at the moment. He's still, yes, okay, in P10. DRS is still enabled, so it's suggesting to me the track is not wet enough yet.
I think it's just been taken off, hasn't it? Iceman, 2 seconds to make up. He can't be the bridesmaid yet again, can he? But it will put Casper in the lead of the regular season if he finishes like this. MK Bourne on for a P3, that's incredible. And ST Mats on for another top 5 along with Jordan.
Is this around the outside? Splinter on Corey. Corey's on very old medium tyres, so I'm glad Corey's actually stayed in the race. You know, he's learned from last season's having a bad race just to stick within the race to get some points, because that's what cost him, I think.
He's coming into this race with 0 points as well. Corey outside the top 10, however. And Splinter P10, which would put him on 300 points. Kieran, by the way, come out P9, and he's on the intermediates, but I think he's still just about being caught by Jamie Bromley, who would love to sniff a single-figure finish. A P9 would be amazing for him in this tier. A tier he used to win races and get pole positions in. What a comeback for the man who's taken almost a year out of league racing. But Iceman has the gap down to under a second as we begin, Matthew Redmore, the final lap in Australia. It's 1 to go at Albert Park. Casper, already a race winner this season, already in the playoffs. Iceman with a 2nd and a 5th, but he'd dearly love a 1st. And he's spun, and Iceman goes through and will win in Australia if he can keep it on track for the next 14 turns. Where's MK Bourne up into 2nd? What about ST Mats? Can he get a 2nd podium in 2 races in a row? Casper falling behind. Connor will not have the benefit of overtaking Casper because those tyres are just about recovering. Can he keep it on the road? Yes, he can. I think he's done all right there. He'll chase down ST Mats, or try to at least, as Ben Harrett gets past Yori. But Ben Shaw looks as if he's been gifted a win here. It'll be number 4 on record as he flies into turn 11 and 12. The man from St Helens who's wanted a win all season long. It won't be the way he wanted to win it, but it's the way it's going to have to kick off his season at least. Perhaps it'll be another regular season championship for Ben. MK Bourne, what a race for him. Just sitting there in P2, picking it up. ST Matt stays 3rd. Casper will be 4th. They're struggling now with the rain pouring down harder. But Iceman rounds the final corner in Australia, and he's going to win at Albert Park. Ben is through to the playoffs, and MK Bourne has a career day. Unbelievable drive for him. ST Mats, 2 podiums in 2 races. What a season he is having. Casper will go to 3rd because of a penalty for MK Bourne. What a shame. And it's Connor, P5, and we have a spinner at the end. I think it's Jordan over the line. OKK 6th. Great race. J-Luke with a brilliant restart could only finish 8th. Kieran 9th. Splinter hits 300 points. Corey, 1st points of the season. Gareth spins from P12 at the end of the race. Ben Harrett, I think, is 13th. Michel Gorry, 6th last week, 14th this week. That's a good showing for a Kia Series driver. Yori, Leroy and Jess finish the race and the classification. Oh.
Congratulations, Ben. We knew he had a couple of races wins within this season. That's one of how many this season, me personally. But from last year, from when he could have won the race last season, bear in mind he had the 3-second time penalty, didn't have the time penalty this season, and he's gone on to win. So Iceman's now on the move. He's rising up.
Yeah. So I fear he's one of those drivers where one win might be enough for just to get him going on his way. That could be the first of quite a lot, but it is, however you want to look at it, 3 winners in 3 races courtesy of a Casper spin. And what a day it is in JACKOCAR at Australia once again. It was starting to boil, wasn't it? And then it got better and better and better. It's a classic Australia race. We promised it and we got it. Ben Shaw leads Christian Hataro and Casper Klein on the podium. I'll let you do the rundown, Matthew, as I get the standings and classifications.
Okie dokie. So, P1, there it is. He loves to hear it. Speed Iceman, Ben Shaw. A nice number 1 there. As always, picking up the results where needed. Below, ST Mats. Great driver matches from P16 all the way into P2. Me personally, if I could choose the driver of the day, that would be him, but we'll leave that to the Twitter polls. Casper in P3, what could have been? Can't believe he spun that exit of turn 2, but I'll live to fight another day. He kept it on within the track, so at least he finished the race. MK Bond in 4th, Connor 5th, OKK 6th, ERT Jordan 7th, J-Luke 8, trying to be crafty with the intermediates, but could only go into P8th. Kieran, unfortunate, but that's JACKOCAR in P9, Splinter in 10th. And we have the rest of Corey, Gareth, Ben, Excite, Yuri, Leroy, Jess, Tease, Jamie, and Pete, rounding off the end of the grid.
Pete, of course, with that in-game disqualification through no fault of his own. And that was just the first of many incidents that followed this evening. But JACKOCAR Australia, proven formula for a cracking race. I think it might be back on the Season 7 calendar. Why not? Unless you have any final words, Mr. Redmore, I think that might just do us for this evening. I mean, have you got anything?
All I can say is, as always, Australia just didn't disappoint. It managed to get me to shout, so that says it all really about Australia. It's a pleasure to always be racing here, and even the new track layout on these cars proved a really great show. But no, that's all I've got to say, Jacko.
Good enough. I don't ever have a lot to say after a race. I normally let the racing do the talking. So with that said, we return next week for a blast around Saudi Arabia. Of course, Saudi Arabia, we've had an all-star race there and a Championship 5 race, but what will a regular season race give us? Who knows? We'll have to wait for a week's time before we head into a 2-week break, and then we come back for a 13-week run into the title. Please do join us. Goodbye.